Well, it's another day, another time to talk. This morning, what's going on, everybody? Hope everything is good. Hope everything is going well. And yo, universe is ours. It's a lot going on, y'all, and we definitely want to discuss the up and comings, the ins and outs, and those things that are new, fresh, and maybe new to us, or new to you, but not new to us. I am your boy, the real Biz Taylor. Today, we have much things to talk about, namely, this new movie came out called The Flash, and I know everybody ain't messing with Ezra. I get it, the sentiment is well-deserved as well, but it did come out, so let's talk about whether or not that's popping or not. The Blackening came out not too long ago, as well as Transformers, and since we weren't here last week, we might talk about that for a little bit. Shamik Moore wants to be Spiderman in real life, and some people are saying, hold on, homeboy, are you actually old enough or too old possibly to be playing? I don't know, that's a little weird, but we'll talk about it anyway. Like I said, the Blackening came out, and there's some interesting topics discussed on this actual this movie. I think we can delve into that. Have we seen enough of the Transformers movies, or are there more to come with more different plots? Because I don't know, between me and you, I'm starting to feel like they all can get merged together, but that's just me. Let me not hold it. But we are happy to see the people of color that are leading the cast either way, so that's cool. Domino is no longer, at least not expected to be in the upcoming Deadpool 3. Let's talk about whether or not that was contrived, whether she knew about it, whether she's going to be back before, who knows. Strange New Worlds just dropped it. I know I'm the last trekker on Earth, but I'm still here, me and Ty. Black Panther. What's happening? There is a new comic book with a new comic book character that we know's outfit looking very, very Star Wars to me, but that's just my opinion. And we definitely want to review, spoiler free, because we know everybody ain't see it, whether or not this Batman, I like to call it the Batman movie because that's basically what it was to me, man. The Batman movie, which dropped not too long ago with nothing but the goodies. For anybody who's nostalgic like I am, man, this right here may be the place for you to donate your movie-going dollars. But for right now, man, I will go ahead and get us started and let it be known where we
I
at.
love the new blurred order. You should too.
Let me get all this 10p Wayne. All the niggas rapping about the same old thing. I've been coming through with the same old game. Ain't shit changed except nine got a name. Got it out the mud, but we got no stains. Cold ass ninja with a gold ass chain. The girl call me daddy, not my government name. Money on my mind, got them bands on my brain. Let me tell y'all about a nigga I know. That nigga stay clean, so he always got hoes. Light skinny bitches like.
I love the new blurred order. You should too.
Man, I gotta remember to take the loop off repeat. Anyway, what's going on? I see Omar bopping in the background. That was dope, man. What's happening, y'all? I am your boy, the real Vince Taylor, reporting live from the Spider-Man cave on the green screen tip this week. Actually, this week we might just call it the Batman cave. If my internet wants to get this can't be the Batman cave because I know he got good Wi-Fi, and not in my house, not today, Lord. Anyway, we may have to refresh. We'll see what's going on. Either way, I'm joined by none other than you can hear him laughing.
Sorry,
we got Omar. Don't be sorry, man. You do you. We got Omar. He's dragging me already. Omar. Hey, go ahead, man. Go ahead, bro.
Batman at 56K, yo. Bruce done lost the inheritance. He done blew his money on vigilante shit.
Man. Yeah, we're Batman on beta today. I'm sorry. All right, we've got Omar Holman in the building. We've got Nolly in the building. We have the one and only Tiffy Starchild in the building. Fresh off of mini rehearsals, but still killing it all day. And Bad Ty is in the building. Yeah. And we might be expecting a couple more or one more to pull up if the Wi-Fi wants to act right. But for right now, man, I just want to say hello. It's been a while. We took a little time off last week, and since then I have been put in Facebook jail, which I know Facebook for the kids is basically where your parents put all your pictures. Because I know a lot of folks don't go there anymore. So unfortunately, I can't broadcast on my site today, but it is what it is. Hopefully we'll be back at some point. That's too much to talk about, but I just wanted to start because I missed y'all. I just want to say what's going on, man. How's everybody doing, man? Omar, man, what's going on in your world, bro? You good, man? Everything good in life, bro?
Yeah, everything's all right. I'm definitely not balled up in on the bed in a ball of depression or anything like that. Everything is perfectly okay. Everything is great. It's great, Vince. Yeah, everything's fine.
All right, cool. Because I know there was a lot of I was in Canada last week and there were fires, smoke sent down from the north wind, if you will, that it looked like it was affecting y'all out there in New York. Bruh,
yeah,
everything okay?
That was pretty. I was actually in Philadelphia when that happened, but it came through like a fucking like the miasma from Inuyasha, and it was I think it was gone within like 2 days. So I think it might have been here for a day and a half or so, but then it moved through. But like that shit, I shouldn't say this, but I'm like, man, I know it's bad, but I'm like, could have got some really good pictures if I was here for that shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? It was like they were not, but you could feel it in Philadelphia as well. Like, inhaling, like just walking out. I was like, oh, we're a big difference when wearing a mask versus not wearing a mask and inhaling. I was like, oh, shit, okay. But then everyone in California, I know they're all like, rookie motherfuckers. Yeah. We originated this.
I live in campfires.
Yeah.
Pull some ass up.
Y'all soft.
I get it. Yeah, soft, fast New Yorkers. Yeah, I get it. Nah, just playing. We love the New Yorkers. Tiffy, you've been busy as well. How's everything going in your neck of the woods over there on the West Coast?
It's good. Real quick, one question. So when you had like the intro video playing, you could see our cameras still? Did you see me grab the boxes from the back of my room? Did you see all that happen?
Maybe.
No, I need an answer because my anxiety is because I don't know if you saw what happened. I was scrambling before the cameras came back on. I was having a whole situation during that intro, and I'm like, did Vince see that? Because that's very embarrassing.
I'll never tell. Anyway, no. Well, listen. We'll talk about it in post. How about that? You know what I'm saying? We'll see what goes on. But we're glad to have you either way. But yeah, definitely. Everybody can't see you, but I have administrative access, so I may be able to see.
I'm very happy I put on shorts today.
But I'm not always, hey, listen, we adults, you know what I'm saying?
This is me.
It's cool. All right, we also got Ty. How's it going for you, man? You all right, bro? You good? Life good, bro?
I'm a little sick. I'm a little under the weather, but I mean, I'm alive. So yeah, everything is great.
Is it because you went to the movie theater around people to watch the movies?
I think I would love to blame them, but I think this is just a wifey I think gave me this.
Oh, blame that.
No, let me tell you. Look. But let me tell you the fake out, right? So she gave it to me, and then quarantined me. I was like, what? You just gave me the shit, and then she was like, "Oh, I'm feeling better, so you need to stay over there." I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yes.
Like, yo, I'm over here sick because of you, and now I gotta go in my room.
That's real.
What kind of shit is that?
That's real.
Yeah, I'm in my room.
That's real as fuck.
Well, hey, man. Good luck on your quarantine, homeboy. I hope everything goes well. What about you, Nolly? Moving things around a little bit this week, huh?
Literally moved into the new place on Sunday. I'm exhausted.
You exhausted?
I need to go back to the gym and start lifting again because Lord Jesus, I was sweating. I was like, I know this ain't the same bitch with the legs that could squat like this. It's not her.
Man, it must be hard. I can't imagine how difficult it is for you to sit in the sun and watch your man move all of that stuff. I mean,
I'll have you know, I helped.
You helped. You brought him some lemonade every now and then. Hey, and I know Nolly, have you ever noticed how your spouse, their intonation change, or your girlfriend or whatever, whenever they want something or don't want to be bothered? You know what I'm saying? Hey, did you put the shit away like I told you? Yes. But then when it's, hey babe, did you need me to help you move the couch?
I want more squishmallows.
What's up, Ty?
So I have a question because I know that Nolly and her man work out. So whenever you work out with somebody, you get competitive. I wonder when y'all were moving shit, did you feel like
Ooh.
so you trying to one up me? Oh, so you carrying the bed? Oh, nigga, watch this. I'm about to pick up the house. Let's go. Let's go.
I lifted a
Was that
bookshelf.
you?
I was lifting a bookshelf by myself, and his mom was like,
See?
"Okay," and I was like, "I got this." And at the gym this morning, he was like, "We could take off those 45 plates and just put on 25." And I was like, "I can do it."
Yeah.
I couldn't.
I
I tried.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Mr. 407 Kev has stepped into the building. What's going on, fam, man? You all right, bro?
What's going on? What's going on? It's so good to be here. So good to see y'all. How y'all living? Y'all good?
Yeah, we good, man. So we was just talking about gym stuff, and looks like you just came from the gym. I can see it. I see that muscle. It's already bigger, bro. I see it.
Yes,
Yeah. Light work. I was like, let me be productive and get a gym session in before start my day off right. And then they was like, oh no, the way the traffic is set up on the way to the gym, you ain't gonna be able to do things on time today. So apologize for my CPT.
Yeah, right. I'm sure that's look, bro, it's all good, man. It's DNA, it's genetic, it's nothing you can do about it. We're glad that you at least trying to get to the gym, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, there's a lot to talk about. So I'm glad you actually made it. Now listen, I know that we have the Flash to talk about, and that's a controversial area in itself because let's keep it real. Ezra is not on the top of everybody's favorite person list as of this very moment, especially given the allegations, since he hasn't been charged for everything and a lot of stuff, which unfortunately I believe deterred the release success. However, we are here. We knew this day was coming. We knew we was gonna have to talk about it. I don't think everybody here has seen it. Neither have those. Oh, by the way, shout out to everybody who was watching. Looks like Comedy Hub is on deck. What's going on, Comedy Hub? We looking good. What's up, Twitch, Twitter? What's going on in the Facebook? That's not mine because I'm in jail for a little bit. Evidently, they caught me stealing boxes down at Mar-a-Lago, and I've been indicted on there. So we're just gonna go ahead and keep it moving. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I just saw the Flash movie, and I have some thoughts. I also saw Transformers last week. I have some thoughts. Omar's got some thoughts on the upcoming Black Panther. The Black Panther release that just recently released. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to read it or even see it in person. And there's a lot of things we're going to talk about. Kev has had a chance, I believe, of all of us to see The Blackening, and I haven't had a chance to see that yet. Kev, I'm hoping that you can give us a spoil-free review. But before we kick that off, I wanted to talk to Tiffy real quick because Tiffy dropped some information that I wanted our audience to be aware of. For those of y'all who do cons and do like to do cosplay events, which we're in the process of setting up our own, there's some news about which is making those of us in the household very happy.
News.
There's some news about some upcoming real life Hellfire Gala stuff going on, and let's just let Tiffy speak the way she does to her people.
What are you wearing to the Hellfire Gala? Because it's real. It's coming to San Diego Comic-Con this year. Will you be looking Renaissance tour ready like Emma Frost? Or perhaps like a succulent green apple Jolly Rancher like Jean Grey? Will you be emulating the drip that is Aurora Monroe? To clear up any confusion, this is not taking place at D23 Expo, which is like every other year. This is going to be at this year's San Diego Comic-Con. You do not need a Comic-Con badge in order to attend, but you do need a gold D23 membership, and it's not free. I am very heartbroken that I cannot be there because I have been waiting for an event like this, and I've been going to the D23 San Diego Comic-Con events for the past several years. I am heartbroken. I feel like if you're not going to the gala, you should still make an outfit and we can just share them on the internet with each other. This is so exciting, and I can't wait to see how people show up.
All right, first of all, did y'all hear all of that, or was it in and out?
No, I heard everything.
Or no, okay, it wasn't just me. Tiffy, this is a major thing. Now, this isn't the only post you had. I believe on TikTok, you also discussed the potential to have maybe our own independent outside Hellfire Gala. Talk to us about this. What's going on?
Yeah, well, I am not the Hellfire Gala expert. Actually, Omar is. So, like, correct me if I say anything wrong. But basically, what I do know of it outside of the comic books is D23, which is the Disney fan club, and we know that like Disney owns Marvel and such. But the Disney fan club, they normally have an event every year at Comic-Con. So it's going to be at Comic-Con this year, hosted by D23, and it is a live Hellfire Gala situation. So I don't know any other details besides that. Like, we know that there's the party, you're supposed to dress up, and going based off the past events they've had like a Tron themed one that I've gone to. Nice. Omar and Tasha went to that one last year as well. And then they also had a Disney, like a Mickey Disco, based off the Mickey Disco record that was released decades ago. And it was like very disco. Oh, was that the one? Was it Questlove that was there DJing? It was somebody. I had to look and see who was DJing. And just the funniest thing was, like, that man did not want to be there. He did not want to be around those fucking Disney adults, of which I was one of them. And like, it was because he's just. And he had a hype man that was not a part of Disney culture at all. And he was just saying things on the mic. And all the black people were just like,
it was Questlove.
It was.
Oh my God! How can you be among so much enthusiasm and have resting bitch face? Explain it.
I think it was just funny for us because, like, I think that non-black people, like, not even knowing really who that was for the most part, we thought it was the most, because the music was still amazing. He did his job. They didn't pay that man a smile. So
they should put that in the contract. Like, we need at least 15 minutes of smile.
And it's in the smile.
And he does smile because he be on the late night show. What's up, Ty?
I was just gonna say, in defense of Questlove, prior to his dealings on the Today Show and all of that, he was part of the group The Roots. And if you ever saw The Roots in concert, or you ever saw them just do stuff, he was very he just was there. He was like, he would just be, playing the drums, but he would just, like, if you really go back and look at the footage, Quest was never like a real hype dude. He was just always just.
It's the obligation. I mean, how happy can you really be? Have you ever seen a happy drummer? I mean, we're going a little off topic.
Yes, absolutely.
Little drummer boy, he was very happy. He was banging. Or the Africans or the Jamaicans who be on the steel drums in the Caribbean. Those are some smiling dudes.
You right. And they dance as they do that, man. That's crazy. Well, listen, Quest, calm down, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on, homeboy. You can't have a name like Quest and then not be interested in Disney stuff. Like, there are Disney quests, bro. Can I calm down? Anyway, well, I'm sorry to hear that he wasn't as enthusiastic as he should have been.
He was great. And all that is to say, I think that essentially it's just going to be a big party that you can go to with the theme of X-Men and the Hellfire Gala. Ooh. So that is very exciting. I can't be there. I am heartbroken. I waited for forever for them to announce like the date and time, the details. I've known about this for months and I cannot go. And I'm so sad because of the show that I'm in. And I've been through all sorts of emotions. I tried to negotiate it when I was being cast. At first, I had a swing. Like, a swing is a person in a show that covers multiple roles, and then that changed. So I'm doing every show, and I'm just like, there's just one night. There's just one night I'm asking for. One night only. No, I can't have it. Like, it's so sad.
Dang, man. I mean, you know what? Yeah. You got to do what you got to do, I guess. But man, I guess there's always sick days. The problem is, like, if you were but you can't. It's not like working at Publix, which is a grocery store over here for the Northerners and for the West Coast folks. I say Dwayne Weed. I don't know. It's not like working at Target. All right, I should say Target's not good right now either. You know what? It's not like working a 9 to 5 where, like, if you call out, they're like, all right, fine. You take a sick day. Like, if Tiffy doesn't make it, nobody plays that role. Like, they're ass out. When you're an actor, like, you can't just call up the understudy all the time, you know. So I mean, that's a problem, right, Tiffy? And can't nobody else do what Tiffy do. Let's just keep it 100.
That is true. That is true. I do have someone covering my role now because that's just smart in theater. Like, what if I get sick and I literally can't do the show? So, like, it'd be silly not to have someone covering me. But, like, I'm gonna be honest about, like, when I can't be available for something or can't go. And it's not like what I do is secret. So if I were to call out for that show, have a sick day, all it they done already found my social media. So they'd be like, but she was at the Hellfire Gala at Comic-Con on the night that we was supposed to, that will never work in my favor. So but that's why I did want to do a virtual one. And it started off just like as a thing I said in the video, like we should just post our pictures online and just do it. And then people were really like in the comments, like, no, okay, so what date are we doing that? And what hashtag are we using? And I was like, oh, and with like encouragement from friends, they were like, no, yeah, this is a thing that you should do. So now it's a thing, and it's the Hellfire Homecoming, because we ain't quite a gala, but like the Hellfire Homecoming. And I haven't announced it on social media yet, but it'll be the same day as the physical one. And that idea is that people that are going can also use the hashtag while the hype is happening. And then I think a few days later on the 26th or something like that, that's when the events drop in the comics. So everything is happening around the same time. And I think people will be more posting about the live event, and it just makes it more accessible. Like, you can't go to events, you don't want to pay for the ticket. Not everyone is in San Diego. Right. I'm from the content creator era on Instagram where we was taking pictures and that was the content. If we wanted to do a cute little drop the brush video, that is how we connected virtually. God damn it. So it's basically super simple. That I
know Tiffy kept a flipagram or two back in the day.
I never had a flipagram.
She had one of the, remember we used to have like the 6 pictures in one box, and you like went on, like what did you use, like the layout with all the different, you like try to like put all of them. I don't know, we going way OG posting, you know what I'm saying? Before, I remember when Facebook didn't have only let you have one face, you know what I'm saying? On there you could have like one face. I remember when Facebook only let you register if you had a college login. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, I'm going back. I remember back when beta test the Max.
And we can take it all the way back. We can take it back to Live Journal. We can go to Angel Fire. We can go to sites.
Black Planet.
Don't let me put on Black Planet. What?
Absolutely, Black Planet. The name.
Listen, the modern day internet ain't nothing but a overblown version of AOL chat rooms. I will die alone on this hill.
I was an AOL menace. Oh my God, I did damage on AOL. I affected real people's lives. I had no business on the internet unsupervised. No business. Oh my God.
Yeah. And that's when you just talk to people because you like their screen name. Like you never, you don't even see them. They didn't have no faces that went along with it. Look at all of us. Just, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, let me not go down that rabbit hole. So before we go on, I would like to just go in order of recent events backwards, and let's just kind of give our rendition. Spoil free. We ain't gonna spoil because we don't think everybody's seen this yet. This ain't like Across the Spider-Verse where it's like if you ain't seen it by Saturday, you're not a real fan. But with The Flash, it did come out. And again, I already see folks in the comments. I see you, Daniel. I understand, man. And I'm not mad at you. There's folks that are like, look, fuck Ezra Miller. I get it. So we don't mean to offend anybody. And I get the complexity around this issue. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of weird to talk about it. But I'm going to go the Fantastic Frankie route, and I'm going to call this a Batman movie that starred The Flash, which is basically what it was. And I think, Ty, you saw it, right? I think we're the only two that saw it, right? I mean, we didn't have a chance to see everybody. So, Ty, without spoiling, you want to just give us whether or not people should see it, whether you enjoyed it, and, you know, what it is we have to look forward to without telling us too much about what's going to happen.
Without telling you about too much. All right. So yes, you should definitely see it. It was a good movie. I mean, I don't know what else to say without spoiling it. I hate being, you know me. I hate being in this position when you can't say shit about the movie other than it was good, but because there's a lot to talk about. But yeah,
you're right.
All right. I got a question. Ty, is it a good movie for DC or a good movie on its own?
Put it like this: for entertainment value, if you go into it with strictly entertainment value and not looking at it from what we're like the nerd perspective, which you're going to look at source material and be like, why not? There's going to be a lot of that. Why this, but not that? And so don't do that. Don't go in there. Don't go in there because you're gonna be like the last Airbender fans and all of them. You're gonna be like, what? I hated this. I can't believe. You're gonna go in there with that energy. I didn't go in there with that energy. You know what energy I went in there with?
What you going with?
I'm gonna hate it anyway. That's it.
Yeah,
that was the energy I went in with. You know what? You know why? Because Ezra Miller is like you really want to hate the guy because of all of the stuff that he does. So you really don't want to support anything that he does. But then on the flip side, I thought the original Batman was the best Batman ever. So I'm a Michael Keaton fan. So I cannot. I have to bring myself for Michael Keaton. Now, with that being said, did it hit like it was supposed to hit? Probably not. If you're like going in there and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to see Michael Keaton. Well, guess what? When you see Michael Keaton, you won't know you see Michael Keaton. And that's the part that really is like, I don't know if that was the way you should have did that, bro. Like, first of all, I didn't necessarily need to see Michael Keaton's face. I didn't need to see it. All I needed to do was hear his voice and see him under the mask. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't necessarily need to see. I'm tired of y'all putting these 145-year-old men in all of these. Like, yo, I'm just tired of, like, I'm just really tired of it, man. Like, this, we gotta stop. Listen, I support. I love my grandmother. Grandma, if you're watching this, I love you. But old people, and I know she gonna.
Keep going.
I'm about to say it, Grandma. I'm sorry, but old people need to stay in their place. And
my God!
Like, and look, I'm not saying y'all can't be a part of something, but not these movies, not action movies. Like, they did it well. They did it well with what was his name, Walter Matthau, and the other dude when they used to do the little Jack. That was funny as hell. Them two old dudes, because because that's what old people are. They're grumpy as fuck. They don't like nothing. They always complaining. My grandma again. I love you. And I'm not talking about you, even though I am, but I'm not. But they are grumpy. And when you see this, listen. When he came out in the suit and they walked him out in the suit, did he not look like he had a pamper on? That's all I'm going to say.
First of all, he said he wasn't spoiling nothing. So
I'm just saying. I mean, we know listen, I'm not spoiling that. We saw that in the thing.
Now people going to the movie looking for a pamper. God damn it! Like,
well, you won't have to look hard.
That experience away from them.
You won't have to look hard.
What's up, Omar?
First of all, that was an incredible recap and highly animated, incredible. But also, when talking about like old folks like just stay in the lane with terms of acting and whatnot and bringing Michael Keaton out and he's old. There was a tweet recently where I had an interview of Christopher Reeves way back when, and he's on a talk show talking about it, and he's like talking about how like Superman 4 was like a cash grab, right? And it's like, well, they bring you back to do these things, and it's not really about the love of the film anymore. It's about like, oh, how do we bake in on these things? And now the film coming out isn't really. It's not people that love to make film that's doing it. It's the people that are like the managers and the accountants have now become like I don't want to say that. I don't want to say the manager and the accountants have become like the overseers. I was trying to find the word, but like they've become that. They've moved into those positions. So films are not really being put out anymore by the folks that love to do cinema and are specialized in it, but more by the people like, well, how can we? Like, all right, fuck, this worked, so let's get them back again and back again. Yeah. And so like when you say that, we have Michael Keaton back again, who we love, but like. People banking on that to see, you know what I mean, to help this in a sense. Like it's almost like bringing back pre-racist Hulk Hogan for like, oh, we get a piece right there, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or you bring back you bring this person, because look, this old person you love, they're back, they're back now. So you said that point where I'm like, it made me think of that like instantly.
Well, let me chime in on this real quick because I disagree wholeheartedly with Ty. I love him to death, you know what I'm saying? And he is forever my Fire Stick supplier. But
hey, yo, Pause.
Play.
Kind of fire
Play it.
stick you
No,
supplying
no,
over
play
there,
that.
Ty?
Well, hold on,
Yeah,
I
play
don't know if
That
that didn't come
fire
out the
stick.
way.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
No,
Fire
I
stick
stand by-
supplier is nuts.
That community fire stick?
Yeah.
I didn't do it out here
community
supplying
fire
fire
stick.
stick.
Some community fire stick.
stick. Yes.
You call it- all right, you
Do we
might.
have
The
schedule
secret's
for
out,
it?
Ty. The secret's out. They know now. They know.
Look,
These are jokes. Pause button. Even though I shouldn't. Whatever. Who cares, man? Yeah, people gonna people. Anyway, so I don't think that this was what Omar just described, and I also don't think that Michael Keaton was too old. I mean, in this particular movie, DC went places that they hadn't gone before, and that is DC is not known for nostalgia in their movies. Spider-Man just went completely nostalgia nuts, not just Across the Spider-Verse, but Spider-Man No Way Home was a completely nostalgic freaking based movie. People who had their adorations for Tobey Maguire, they went nuts when he came through. People who loved the Andrew Garfield, they went nuts, especially when he rescued MJ. So I think that it's appropriate sometimes to tie in. And I frankly, of the old school Batman era, I believe that Michael Keaton was never really given his just due since they brought Joel Schumacher in after Tim Burton failed with the Batman Returns sequel, and he just kind of fell off. But he was even on record, like he was, I think it was like the late 2000s, he was on a talk show and they were like, so you were Batman? He's like, I am Batman.
Let's go.
Saying it. So I don't think that in this particular instance it counts, because a cash grab would be to keep Henry Cavill, right? A cash grab would be to keep some of the favorites that we see as of right now. For them to say, look, let's tie into the folks who watched Batman when they were like 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 and bring that same. I would tell you like this. I saw it in the movie theater. I shouldn't have. All right. Because they ruined my experience. These motherfuckers were loud as shit. I went to a black movie theater, West Oaks Mall, which is where I like to support, but I will not be doing that anymore. If these motherfuckers gonna be screaming out, oh, that's my Batman, and this movie's trash, and like all loud and shit in the middle of the movie. Like,
damn.
I could take it in the middle of Little Mermaid when you can't keep your kid quiet because you want to bring her to see you want to see Black Little Mermaid on screen. I'm with it. I ain't even mad at that. But if you're a grown ass man in your trash outfit and your socks come up to your knees and you're and I'm saying, I got to give you the turn like the Jerry Seinfeld. like nigga, I don't want that shit in my movie experience. However,
We should have switched movies because I was literally in the opposite of that. I was the one that was loud. I was like, look, because I wanted it. You know how you think everybody's with you, and then you realize that you the only one there in there. You like, oh shit. So I was like, so in that moment when it's supposed to hit, without me spoiling, without, you know what I mean? When that moment's supposed to hit, I was ready. I was like, oh, it's about to go down. I looked around. I even looked at the dude. He was like a dude in the row behind me, and I thought we had did it. Like I thought, like it was a real quick. I was like, and when it happened, and I was like, oh, and I was the only one to do that. It didn't feel the same. So I wish we would have been swapped. I wish I was with all of the black people in that moment, for those moments, because it was terrible. I feel like I was the person that ruined everybody's day, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're still doing it low key, not just like.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I went in with the same energy as you. Like I almost am ashamed for seeing it on opening night. I'm gonna keep it real. Like I was like, especially our boy Nolly, our boy Tyrone. He's at the front. He's at the front of the Writers Guild striking like, nah, fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? We don't support. You know what I'm saying? This Ezra bullshit, especially given the allegations and how serious some of them are with regard to minors. Now, having said that, Batman was Batman in this shit. I'm sorry. Batman was he did what he came to do, but the most, in my opinion, and I don't think this is a spoiler because this is actually on the trailer. One of the most surprising takeaways from this is probably one of the first movies that made me really anticipate the Supergirl. Like I'm like geeked up about Supergirl coming out now. Like I've never been a Kara big fan. I mean, even back with Faye Dunaway and all of that shit and the whole show, I didn't watch not one. No matter how many times Ty was like, "Yo, you need to give the Supergirl a chance." Yeah, I mean, on the CW, it's a good show.
The first couple seasons, then it got crazy and it was terrible. But I still am champion for the Superman CW joint that they got. That's actually
Superman
pretty decent. Yeah, that's actually decent.
I hear you, but I'm Supermaned out. But this freaking Supergirl, yo, she's Supergirl. You know what I'm saying? Like this, all I'm gonna say real quick is that she's Supergirl. Now, I will say this: there are some very eerie similarities that hurt. There's some very eerie similarities of this movie to Spider-Verse, if I can keep it real.
Oh my god.
You know, there are some similarities. We won't go into them. And there's also some similarities which they even addressed head on to Back to the Future in this. But for the comic book fans, we know Flashpoint is a thing. It's nothing new. And they even did it in the series. Like the whole series was based on it. What's up, Ty?
Yo, Vince, listen, if there's one thing we got to spoil, it's that. And look, we cannot just, but we're not going to overlook. Look, Omar, join me with this one. Like when, I'm just going to put it out there because I'm tired. Because this was what the one thing I was waiting to talk about.
Hold on, wait. Are we spoiling?
We've already, me and you've talked about this. We are not the first to spoil this. The internet has already spoiled this.
Yeah, but for our panelists at least, you know what I'm saying? Like let's.
I'm not gonna watch it.
No objections. Tiffy, no objections. Nolly, no objections. Kev.
Do your thing. Live your life.
Look, Kev. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to. But this has to be addressed. Okay.
Okay. All right. Take the mic.
Yo. When the hell in comic books, in animation, and anything has Barry Allen been Latino?
Oh, okay. Yes, that is something. I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up because that is something that we noticed was a little different in this one. They did inject a staunch Latino mother in the role. I don't think that's too much of a spoiler because there were indications of that in the trailer.
I don't like it.
But they went full Latino. Like it wasn't like she was like, I don't want to, I'm not going to name any names, but there are certain Latino folks, Cameron Diaz, that don't really always embrace their Latin side. And it's just one of their names that kind of, oh yeah, that's right, she is Latino. And this one, like they made it clear, like it's almost like they were like, can you be even more Latino? It was like they went ham bone for the Latin vote, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not.
What? No, you're not mad at it. What was the purpose of it?
I think the purpose is inclusion, homeboy. I mean, the same reason why. I mean, look, Iris wasn't black in the comics either. You know what I'm saying?
I need less.
Is Ezra Miller in real life half Latino or half Hispanic? Is there any lineage we can trace?
I think if he is, the Latin community don't claim him.
Period.
He's doing.
Period.
Well, first of all, this is something that I struggle with, so I want to at the outset just admit that I struggle.
Ezra Miller is Jewish of Dutch and German descent. Why they do that?
So we're doing inclusion. We're going to include that the idea of you being Hispanic without introducing a Hispanic.
His mama could have been Jewish. Can you imagine little yarmulke?
Why they always make the Spanish characters fast? Like Speedy Gonzalez. Why are they trying to say the Spanish people or Latin people are fast? What's that about?
There's a shout out to that in the movie as well. But let me just pause on this tirade that we're going on, and let me first of all say that one thing I do struggle with, and so my apologies to the non-binary community. I do struggle with they and them sometimes. So if I mess it up, it's not intentional. Just understand. I know Ezra is non-binary, and I will do my best to address them as such. However, I have no problem with the reallocation of it. I think that frankly, one of the things that deterred me originally, one of the things that me and Frankie butt heads about, was the fact that originally it felt like DC was not interested in inclusion. You know, I felt like Cyborg was a forced introduction because of the lack of outside of, look, you could take John Stewart. And yes, we love them, and we even love them in the Justice League series. And I'm looking forward to the Lantern's upcoming release in a couple years through James Gunn. But other than like John Stewart and Cyborg, if you take Milestone out, DC didn't really. They just didn't seem to like want to press forward a bunch of their black characters. So if they're making attempts to kind of add some sprinkles of seasoning of culture into their shows and their movies, I'm not mad at it. I'm a little
white
more.
Characters are dope. Sorry.
Well, look. I'm a little more.
They got great whites.
Nah, I don't know, man. I think they lean too much on them. I mean, but yeah, there's none of that hate for Iris when Iris was in The Flash for 9 seasons, doing her thing.
See, I thought we established that DC shows were different than the movies.
Okay, well, this is Iris in the movie. Like they basically went off of the character that was made in. Oh my bad, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that.
Are you trying to get the face reactions? Because
yeah, you blame me though.
Both them irises is tough. I like that. I like both them irises.
Yeah. Well, listen, this new Iris in this one, well, she gonna have to grow on me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's a little bit of lighterization. I don't want to go too deep into that aspect. But your point is taken, homeboy. For me, in all honesty, it wasn't even that she was Latina. I love that actually. It was that they went an extra mile to be like, oh, she's not just Latina. Like she's like hardcore Latina. Like I don't even think she, her accent was
Rio Morales.
It was my. That's what I'm saying. There's similarities. She was very Sofia Vergara with the accent in this one. You know what I'm saying? And I'm cool with it. I'm not mad at it. I'm not.
That's why I think DC did it. That's why I think DC did it, though. I don't think DC did it for inclusion. DC did it to piggyback off of the Spider-Verse. They timed everything like almost just right. You see the success. You know the success that across the Spider-Verse.
Wait, hold on, Nolly. Is everything okay? Did the mountain just fall?
The thunder that just clapped was so fucking loud, and like, because my desk is now in front of windows, and so I saw the lightning, and I was like, "Oh wow, that's a big storm!" And then boom, and I was like, I felt it in my chest.
Oh, it's raining over here too.
Funny enough, lightning striking. We talk about the Flash. That's its symbol. Whole other thing. Anyway, go ahead, Ty.
Because I'm not watching that movie.
That's what it was. Go ahead, Ty. Come on.
No, I was just saying that it just seems like this is a reach. This is another reach that DC is going for. I didn't feel like any inclusion, because if you're going to include, if this is about inclusion, then why is the main character who's supposed to be half Latino not half Latino? Like you just said that he's German and Dutch and everything but Latino. Like they even had him speaking Spanish in this. And I was like, what? What's going on?
I mean,
was it good Spanish?
Give me a he wasn't really.
He was singing the song that his mother, I guess, used to sing to him. And so, but the fact that he even did that, and I'm like, come on, man, this is a reach, man. And it didn't seem genuine at all. It was like, yo, you really went there, and you think like we wasn't going to catch that, and like this has never been an issue, man. Come on, man.
Man, all right. Newsflash. Bad Ty says DC goes too woke for the Flash.
It's saying woke.
Go ahead, Omar.
I think I see where the disconnect is coming from, because like, okay, you've there's a cat, like, if we can always go to the blind casting of the Cinderella, right? Where I was like, all right, the actors, like, this doesn't matter, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. When you're introduced to Barry already, then it's like, oh, he wasn't speaking. I see he wasn't speaking Spanish before or anything like that. And then now, like, oh, you've introduced his mother was this. Well, then why wasn't this why wasn't this energy present before then? Like, why wasn't he speaking Spanish before then? It's like, and then it's like inserted, right? So it can feel that way. And it's also like almost like a retcon as well, right? You're seeing a live retcon as well. But I'm like, all right, it's cool, we have it. But it's like, if you're going to go this way and this thing wasn't in production for such a long time, why not have had that influence on Barry from the beginning? So that could be like, that way it's a little more consistent. So that way it feels like, it's like, I'm trying, oh man, I'm like trying to ignore this thing. Like, oh, cool, that's his mom. But like, well, then why wasn't that present in him earlier? So that maybe it feels like a continuity disconnect there. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like, I would like to believe that blind casting, but goddamn, if he's doing it this way here, it'll be nice if we just see it all the way up through and then get that explanation here. But then maybe that's also like a plot, maybe just a plot hole as well, right there.
A lot of plot holes.
Yeah,
a lot of plot holes.
Well, I mean, it's not. I mean, look, this is fair, but I also think it's a little much. I mean,
it's a lot. It's not a little much, Vince. It's a lot, bro. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was not Barry Allen a blonde-haired, blue-eyed man in the comic books? Was not Kara Zor-El also blonde hair and blue-eyed? Why do y'all got me advocated for these whites every episode? I don't like it. I don't like it.
I mean,
if they make a real Vince Taylor biopic and they get Henry Cavill or Chris Hemsworth to play Vince Taylor, I'm going to be upset. I'm not going to like it. I don't want to see that movie. I know Vince in real life. He's a bald black man.
Oh, damn.
If they get anybody else but Tommy Davidson to play you, I'm going to be mad.
You said Tommy Davidson.
What the hell?
I know that's right, man.
Don't tell Tommy Davidson, man. Story. Not Varnell Hill.
Gotta get Varnell out here. Don't do it to me.
Tommy Davidson was a very accurate casting choice.
This is Tommy Davidson right here.
I frankly feel like I look like Miles Davis, like Jefferson Davis in the comics. Frankly,
you could be
Jefferson Davis in the comics.
But Jefferson Davis is a fictional character, so we can't get him to play you. So therefore, we got to get Tommy Davidson. Tommy Davidson, Dave Chappelle, or the dude who always gets confused with Dave Chappelle, who's Dave Chappelle's doppelganger.
Oh yeah,
Joaquin. He was.
Bokeem Woodbine.
Yeah,
I've unfortunately been called can't get right before. So it's all to the good. But I would much rather have Idris shave his head and him play me.
In you asking for a lot.
He said Idris shave his head.
I'll tell you, either Idris, maybe Michael B.
Michael B.
Right.
Samuel Jackson.
Maybe if it's in my later years,
5 years old
already, he collects lightsabers.
All right. The dude that played Keller and Beck too. What's his name?
Yes.
But anyway, outside of that, Ty, let's put that aside and understanding that. Other than that, was the movie worth seeing to somebody who does not have any interest in the Flash?
For entertainment purposes, absolutely. It was very entertaining. I don't agree with you about the Supergirl. I thought I mean, as far as like visual, she's very beautiful. Looked very good. But as far as like the scenes and like what was going on, that was very corny. It was very corny. You might as well have put Ryu in the film.
Wow!
Might as well put Ryu in the film, man. Like it was not at all like what you're making it out to be. I can't wait for a Supergirl movie and all that.
I'm ready. I'm like, I can't believe we're so far apart on this.
Yeah. That like, I listen. It's like I said, for an entertainment value was entertaining. The storyline is terrible because they got
the storyline is the best part.
No, it's not. It's because what they did. It seemed like they wanted to go into Flashpoint.
That's what it was.
But no, they went in and they went in and was like tiptoeing. They was like, we're gonna jump over this. We're not gonna use this. important elements of Flashpoint. You can't just jump over those things and just say, and like that's what I'm saying. It wasn't like, this is not anything that I'm gonna be like, this is the best DC movie yet. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say it's entertaining. I'm gonna say if you go in with the same idea that I went into, like, I'm gonna hate this shit. If you go into it like that, then you'll be all right. You'll be all right. But if you go into there with expectations like, oh, this is gonna be a great movie, you're gonna be disappointed. If you're going there with expectations about Michael Keaton, you're gonna be disappointed. Like, you have to go in there with it.
I've never had expectations about DC in my life. Even
There
when I
you
go
go.
to Washington, D.C., I don't have expectations. I don't even expect to see the White House when I go. I just know D.C. has let me down so many times. I'm like, maybe it's here, maybe it's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never even been.
So
No.
stupid. Nolly.
I may be stirring the pot here, but I want to address one of the comments. Danielle and Charles, I don't know who cheated that y'all share a Facebook profile, but saying a Latin person can only play a Latin person is like saying only a gay can play a gay. Let's let people do their thing. Wrong there, by the way. But also, okay, Hollywood has whitewashed everything since the beginning of movies. Okay, there are literal movies about historical people played by white people putting on an accent or makeup, and absolutely not.
Genghis Khan?
There's just no. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like, there are plenty of capable, same ethnicity adjacent people who can play their ethnicities in movies, but Hollywood has a bad habit of only casting white people. So I need you hueless hooligans to get it together. Understand that we have a plethora of talent. I mean, fucking look at Pedro Pascal. He's doing the damn thing, okay? We have so many talented actors and actresses who are Black, who are Latinx, who are gay, who can play respective roles. Like, yes, you're playing in a movie, so you're playing a character, but there should be nothing wrong with casting for said character. Like, to have a Jewish, German, Dutch person play a half Latinx person is weird to me. Ezra Miller hate aside, because fuck them wholeheartedly. But it's just, the logic just doesn't, the math isn't there for me. So if we could just go touch grass and unclench a little bit. It's 2023, baby. We not whitewashing no more, okay? Y'all don't even wash your legs in the shower, so we not whitewashing.
Full on.
I am so sick of this conversation, and we have to have it every time we see a new Disney movie, Marvel doing some shit. Like, y'all not tired? Because I'm tired. I could use a nap.
No, I share your sentiments. Shit
is crazy.
You just witnessed a live action clapback. This is Nolly from the comment section. For those of you who don't know.
I took a little bit hiatus, but I'm back now.
Not one to mess with.
It's the voice.
Listen, we all have elements of which we can be a little bit more involved with regard to the argument. So, comment section, continue with your comments. We're telling how we feel about some of them. Doesn't mean you don't have the right to have your opinion, but our opinions are just as valid, even if we disagree. Go ahead, Nolly. So having said that, which is a thing, because I would actually, I don't want to go too far aside, but I was watching somebody was talking about an upcoming, how Hollywood doesn't really necessarily know how to depict Africans in African movies as heroes, other than Black Panther. But then somebody was like, well, wait a minute, an African actor played Harriet Tubman, an African actor played Martin Luther King, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And sometimes, we're getting at that point in life where casting it's more significant than just somebody who's capable of acting the role. It's more a matter of representation wholeheartedly, which is why I think that Blue Beetle is not going to have these same problems, even though people are already kind of going at him about, the director not necessarily being, of Mexican descent, being Puerto Rican, but they still try to keep it in the Latino realm. However, I will say this, and then we can move on to another topic. I share some of the feelings of the Flash that Ty has, but honestly not as many, because I thought Michael Keaton was a joy to see on screen. It generated an outburst of applause. Even if you go on YouTube right now and just Google all of the people who are uploading their bootleg videos that they took their camera out and recorded, you're gonna see like Michael Keaton get like like huge applauses when he finally reprises his role. And so I frankly was happy about that because those were for me the good old days.
That's why he got those applause though, Vince. It wasn't for what he did yesterday. It's for what he did way back when. And I shared that same energy. I'm just saying.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. He did some badass shit in this shit.
No. The stuntman did some badass shit. That 145-year-old man didn't do shit but wait in the background and watch while the stuntman did that shit.
I heard Michael Keaton's only 42.
Man, whoever put that weird shit in the comments, that man's 42
Don't
years.
listen to Daniel. He's a comedian. He's a comedian.
Yeah, come on, man.
I have no idea ages, man. I don't know if people are 16 or 60, bro. So when I saw Will Smith in I Am Legend, I was like, damn, Will Smith got old. Like I thought Will was 70. I had no idea.
Oh my God. Well, listen, I'm just gonna say this, and we'll close out about the Flash. And hopefully, if y'all, I don't know if y'all will see it or not, but I would love to get everybody else's take on it at some point. If you don't see it, completely understood, because I understand the Lash. I just sat in the movie theater and I was like, look, I'm not gonna let an asshole stop me from loving the shit that I love. And I wanted to see this comic book shit. I'm not gonna let that ruin my experience. However, I think that the Flash, if Ezra did not have his issues, this would have slapped so hard for his career. This would have changed things and for their career. I don't agree with any of the things that he's putting out in the universe, but I do think that this movie can be set aside from other DC movies in terms of the level of depth that it brought to the fold. This is one of the first DC movies where they didn't have to save the world. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yes, you do to an extent, but sometimes I get a little exhausted from the grandiose nature of movies where the universe is at stake. And sometimes it's just like, yo, I just need give me a little antagonist. Let me fix this shit. Let me work through it. You know what I'm saying? And let's get through it. And so it was refreshing to take a step back from the level of severity of the plot. That's for me. So I recommend it. What do you give it out of 10, Ty? What's your rating on it out of 10? From 1 to 10 being the best.
I would say probably a 7.5.
Literally, exactly.
That's
the
good.
exact same rating I got coming out the movie theater. And there are some cameos that I would say are worth sticking around for. It does have an end credit scene for those who may see it. So if you go to the theater, stick around. If you watch it on TV, then forward through the end credits.
That is the one thing that I wish we would have talked about, but we won't, obviously. But
that's
the cameos is what kind of elevates the movie in moments. And there's certain people that, like, based on the cameo, you may want to see them again. It makes you maybe like you're like, oh, I want to see them again.
Yeah, there was a lot of I don't want to say retribution. I don't like where that word goes. There was a lot of redemption, I would say, for some characters in this movie by way of cameos that I think is worthy. And one very surprising cameo, frankly, especially dealing with James Gunn's overhaul. So with that being said, I say for those who do plan on checking out Flash, I don't think that you're going to be completely disappointed. Is it the best movie? Is it anywhere near Across the Spider-Verse? Fuck no.
No.
Or No Way Home. But I'm going to go off of what Omar said earlier. He asked Ty, was it good or was it good for DC? I'm going to say that it was good for DC. Doesn't mean it wasn't good, but in terms of DC's curve that we grade these things on, I think that it actually it did not fall behind. It gave a little bit of I'm gonna.
Nah, it's just good. It's not good for DC. The only way it would be good for.
It's not Dark Knight, but it might be Dark Knight Rises. You know what I'm saying? It's like that.
They had bars, man.
Yeah, he's going overboard for it. He's really going overboard.
Well, I mean, you're speaking about age, though, man, and a lot of folks in terms of age, I see that's a trigger for you. So I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna be triggered again. Indiana Jones is about to do another movie. I'm like, man,
he already did it.
Well,
I like that.
Well, I mean, look, you like it till you see how old and decrepit he looks on, and they got him trying to swing from something, and the pamper comes off or something. I'm just tired of it, man. Like it's they're doing another Expendables, and I'm like,
I like that too.
I saw the trailer for that.
I like the younger, but Dolph Lundgren and Stallone, I think they're really dedicated to their craft. They're willing to die on the set.
Before we jump off this topic, can I just say what I don't like? I don't like it when they take a old movie collection and then they try to new cast me out, like, oh, these are their replacements. I like seeing older actors reprise their roles for cameos. I want to see them have something to do with the plot, maybe even train the new person. Like, I like what they did with Creed with Stallone, and now he takes him. But I don't want to see all of these old projects. They're like, oh, Indiana Jones 16, but Harrison Ford has nothing to do with the project. I hate when I do that. I hate when they take me to a movie and it has nothing to do with the original cast. Put them in there somewhere. They don't have to be in the whole movie. They don't have to be a whole plot, but put them in there somewhere. Sprinkle them.
I hear you. I hear you. I think that's kind of what this Flash did. But the Indiana Jones thing is enough. I actually agree with Ty on this one. I loved Indiana Jones. I still do. And I will see the movie, but I will be in disbelief, especially as it pertains to stunts and things that he's doing as he's, well into his 70s. And I just, it's a little bit of disbelief. Even when they try to play off of the age. You know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to be like, well, look, hey, you're gonna hang it up. We're too old for this here. And he's like, but we have one more adventure, Indy. And you're like, hey, come on, man, get out of here. But speaking of age, let me ask you this, bro. Since age is such a big deal for you, Ty, my man Shamik Moore, all right, who voiced the actual Spider-Man Miles Morales in Across the Spider-Verse, says that he's gonna start hitting the gym and stuff, because he wants to try to play the live action version of Miles Morales. Now, listen, I'm not too mad at anybody. See, that's just Nolly is not.
Yeah, I was going to let Nolly answer that because she's already answered that earlier. So go ahead and let her repeat what she's already told you.
No, and no in Spanish. No.
Why not, Nolly? Why not? Why? I mean, look, he could have played it originally, but not now. No.
I mean, black don't crack, but you could still tell that he's not Miles Morales' age.
True.
I'm ready for a new little Afro Latino to come in and give us a little. I'm ready for that. I'm ready.
A little what?
A little what?
You want a little.
All right. So 30's too old to play Miles Morales.
That's not High School Musical. They had that woman playing a high schooler at 32, okay? And I know black don't crack, but now that I rewatched the movies, I'm like, yeah, she's in her 30s.
The black girl, Corbin Blue's girl?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She was 32 when High School Musical came out.
Vince, you just said last week that the guy that I said, Jaden, who was 18, is too old to play Miles. That's what you said last week. So 30 is okay this week.
Now you playing favorites.
I'm confused.
I haven't given my opinion on this yet. I'm just breaching the topic as a host. And
I think that you didn't see that you led with. I don't really see anything wrong. That's
I didn't say nothing wrong. I said, do you see anything? Hold on, now let's go to the tape.
I don't see nothing wrong.
We can go back.
You sound a little R. Kelly-ish right now.
Now we have an actual actor on our panel. Tiffy is an actor currently in Ride the Cyclone. I believe it drops in a month. Which some of us are planning to even come and check out the live on theatrical. But Tiffy, what say you about actors that may not necessarily be the age of the character going down in age to play that character? Problematic, circumstantial? What's your thoughts?
I don't think that it's problematic at all. I do think that, Hollywood and theater, it's not how old you are. It's how old you can play. That's just the reality. So if he can realistically look like a Miles Morales, then that's great. And I don't think that there's a moral or ethical issue with it. But from a practical standpoint, and especially if they're trying to get multiple films, which is the hope with a live action Miles Morales, how long is he going to be able to maintain those very youthful looks? It's kind of a gamble.
Right.
Whereas
Right.
if you go with
That's
an
a
actor
great
that
point.
is younger, even if they do get older and age up, it's more natural. It's as Miles Morales would. So I think that he might be aged out of the role, and he needs to go ahead and accept it. It's not ageism. It's just a reality. He needs to accept it. He's done a beautiful job voicing him in the animated versions. He can allow someone else to have that role. If he also was the best, if he was the age and he wanted to go for the live action, sure, I could see that. But in this case, you're holding on to something that you really don't need to. You can 100% pass that blessing on to somebody else. That's how you open the door for other people. Him gunning for this reads selfish, to be honest. It's not your place, sir.
Oh, Omar, you agree?
Yeah, I'm like, you played Raekwon the Chef and Wu-Tang, dog. Let it go, man. But also, like, not to Tivy already said, like, yo, you done this thing. Like, you've already had your hit with this thing. Give you one more film and you got the best superhero trilogy, maybe. I see you have the best superhero trilogy. Why wouldn't you go to someone else now for Miles? I like when they cast folks that, like, you don't know. Like, oh, I don't know who the fuck Tom Holland was, but, like, look how great he did. Why can't you do that same magic with someone else? Marvel's really good with casting. When they get, like, an unknown, they're really good with that. So, like, just do that again and let them go up so it's natural. It has to. You gotta let it go, man. And you can always do the voice. I mean, the voice shit, you can always do that. Maybe that's not something you can age out of with him, because he's 30 and still able to do that voice. So, like, you can, you know what I mean? Like, you can. This is your lane here. Let the live action's got to be for someone else.
Wow, I could almost see. Oh, go ahead, Ty. My bad.
No, I was just gonna say that it's tough, right? Because when you're the best at something, or when you feel like you're the best at something, and you're competitive, you don't want to just give up something. Michael Jordan didn't just want to give up his title as being the GOAT to anybody. So he stayed longer than he probably should have, because that's the competitive spirit in one. I think this gentleman has shown that he's earned the right. Now I think he's like, I put a lot of energy into what I do in creating this character and making this character translate on screen. I want to have the opportunity to show y'all what I can do from an acting standpoint, and you get to see my physical face in front of this project. And I think that's what it is. I know it might seem like it's being selfish. It might seem like it's being selfish, but it's more like, I feel like I did this shit. Like, I brought Miles Morales to life and you guys fell in love with it. Now give me an opportunity to show y'all I can make y'all fall in love with me as Miles Morales. And I think that's what he's really trying to do.
I think there's a way for him to be a part of the projects without him having to be Miles. I think you brought up a great point. If they're gonna make multiple films of this, dog, you about to be 65 in a couple years, dog. You can't be this character forever. But you could be a villain. You could be a mentor. You could have a lot of other roles. I like how Childish Gambino is kind of the reason. Donald Glover is the reason that we even have these movies and these shows. And he's a part of it. He's a part of it, but he didn't have to be Miles, and that's a beautiful thing. I think he could take a lot from.
Holy shit! Talk about full circle. Like, you literally just, like, Donald Glover is the poster boy for exactly what's happening.
The catalyst.
First of all, I don't know if everybody knows this, but Miles Morales is based off of Donald Glover. Like, Brian Bendis actually has been on record saying that his depiction of Miles Morales is based off of an episode of Community. Where Donald Glover was auditioning to be Spider-Man and couldn't get the role. And so he made this character Miles Morales, who wasn't well welcomed by the whole Spider-Man community, and we can sit here and talk about why. But the fact of the matter is, Donald Glover was that. And then when he came into the Ultimate Spider-Man animated series, he was the voice of Miles Morales. Imagine what kind of mind fuck is that, for you to be the inspiration of a character and then to turn around and also voice that character. So some parts of Donald Glover is probably like, yo, I did this shit. I built this shit to borrow from one of Omar's favorite people, brick by brick. It's almost like you almost have to yield to Donald Glover. And if you really wanted to, because originally when they was talking about live action, almost everybody on the internet was like, it's got to be Donald Glover. It's got to be Donald Glover, even though he's, not as young as he used to be. Now, fast forward. He hasn't been petitioning to become Miles Morales, but he has been an integral role in the development of Miles Morales. He was in the original Homecoming with Donald Glover, with Tom Holland, who we'll have to talk about in a second as well. And then let's not forget, if you ain't seen it by now, goddamn it, kill yourself. Don't kill yourself in real life. These are just jokes. But he's in freaking he plays live action Prowler, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And he looks the part, and it just goes to show like things will happen full circle if you allow them to. I hate to tell, but let's talk to Shamik for a second. Shamik, bruh, you killed it in Dope, bruh. You killed it, man. And you killed it in Wu-Tang Forever. You know what I'm saying? You Scarface. You know what I'm saying? But in this particular instance, bro, I think you should dial down the outward straight up solicitation for the role, because if you don't get it, it's going to look like a slight. And let's just keep it real, bro. You killed the role because you're not on screen. The voice
is your little ass down.
Well, Vince, you just mentioned Wu-Tang. I think he was 28 if he's 30. If he's 30, so he's 28, 29. He's playing 30. So no, but I'm saying when he did the Wu-Tang, that he's playing a teenage kid in that, and he pulls it off.
But they aged him up all the way through. He's also playing a full-grown adult as Ghostface as well. Yeah. And there's parts of that show that I have to suspend my disbelief, because I'm like, I don't see it. These guys were kids, and they're also dealing with the adult themes. I don't even understand how the age of time has passed in the movie or in the show, because they're the same actor all the way through.
Well, all I know is that the Dirty Osiris is the best part of that show for me. I fucks with Old Dirty. The Old Dirty he is exactly Old Dirty, like that dude. Yo, you know what I'm saying? Yo, when you stepped up to the old, that's my shit.
The dude who does the RZA's voice is so bad. It takes me out of every episode.
You don't like his voice?
I hate that
he has the same voice in everything. He doesn't change up anything. That's the same voice. Like, he doesn't have any range. Like, it's always
got a list. This dude just does like, he just sounds weird. He just sounds like black AI. I don't like it.
Yo, he says the whole off-wall shit. I don't believe that he's doing the RZA, justice, but that's neither here nor there. I just don't think that Shamik is going to be happy with the results. It almost feels like he's trying to jam his foot in the door for the role and make it awkward for the people to have to make that call to him. Like, yo, guess what, Shamik? We casted a live action Miles Morales. Would you like to be in the movie as a cameo? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's going to end up happening. I mean, Ultimate Spider-Man made a cameo. Ashley Eckstein isn't Ahsoka. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure she's mad about it. But come on, Rosario Dawson is Ahsoka. She plays it better. So either that nor there, man. I don't know. But the Spider-Men are all going through some sort of crisis. Even Tom Holland. Speaking of ages, Tom Holland's like, look, bruh, I'm too old for this shit. What am I, like 24? I'm about to die soon. I don't have much life left. You know what I'm saying? I'm over this Spider-Man shit. he's like, enough of this Spider-Man shit, man. I've lived my life. I'm ready for retirement. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, just the role.
When you making that money and you got Zendaya as a girl, you're like, yo, I don't really need to be showing up to these film shoots at 6 a.m. Like, I'm good.
But I live the good life.
My life is good. I'm out here playing video game characters. People know who I am. I can do an American and an English accent. Like, I've lived my life. I'm good.
Okay, so he do his own stunts, like,
yeah.
Most of them, yeah. Well,
I feel like actors, when they sign on to Marvel projects, don't realize how in depth and how much of a time commitment it is, because most of them don't read the comic books, and so they don't realize, oh, so y'all got a whole plan and I got to appear in 7 movies. Like their contracts are ambiguous and they'll be like, oh, we'll need you for like 4 movies. But by the way, when we hit renewal, yeah, so there's 8 more, you know, like I don't think you realize it. And I know Tom Holland just recently finished a role for an Apple TV show that he said he had to do method acting and that he got so into it that it kind of fucked him up mentally. So that's why he wants to take a break from acting. So I don't know where the Spider-Man shit comes from, but baby, take your break because we got some Avengers movies coming up and I'm gonna do well with
to piggyback off what she just said, this is not the first time he said that either, because he also had this problem when he did Cherry, which is also an Apple Plus movie. And he said that he did the method act and he got all deep into the character. And I think if there was some violence or whatever in the movie Cherry. And so like this is something that he's been dealing with. So maybe that's another reason why you don't go with such a young actor, because of the type of turmoil that could cause a young actor.
What the will you make up your fucking mind? Like you don't want old actors, you don't want young actors.
What I'm saying is if Shameik decided to throw his hat in the ring, there may be something that we don't know. Maybe he's talked to a studio exec at Sony and they're saying, look, if you can get down to this or whatever, maybe we'll consider you for a role. And maybe that was enough to motivate him to come out and be like, yo, I'm about to hit the gym, y'all. I'm about to get it. Yo, I talked to Joe, and Joe was like, I got a chance.
Joe's like,
we don't know.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Joe has no clue what's happening. Joe don't know.
Just get in the gym, nigga. Get in the gym.
Why am I in it?
Now, why am I in it? That's what Joe's saying right now.
No, I was gonna say, I think we might be reaching. I don't know. He just put a tweet and was like, "Yo, I'm gonna try to lose some weight, and if I can, I'm gonna get the role." It's not like he was like, "I need to get this role, and if I don't get it, I'm mad."
Yeah,
like,
but Kev, that's him interjecting. Like that's him playing with he's trying to get the watcher to jump in and to contribute when the watcher's just supposed to watch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's social media. It's public. If you get the public on your side and saying, yeah, we want Shameik Moore in this role, that could influence a studio. So it's not just a tweet thrown out there to the universe. It's very intentional.
Yes.
And someone should have told him not to do it. Because we're going back and forth as if you're not putting pictures of the man up on the screen. Are we all looking at the same person? That is not a young teenager. I'm so sorry. We can stop saying nice words about it at this point. We've gone back and forth. He can't play Miles. Goddamn. Like how much?
I want to also offer a little bit of pushback. I think we grew up in the age of Grease, where all of the people in that cast was 35 plus, and we suspended our disbelief and was like, "Tell me more."
He's not
Did he get very far?
And we look back on that shit and ask ourselves why. Why
it was 78. It was crazy time.
More to want better for these projects. We have options now. They building children different. They can sing and dance and act and do all the things. Find
The child labor laws are different.
and put them on the movie screen. Now Shameik going back in the booth and do your job. I want to see your face.
Is it possible they could also age up the character of Miles Morales to have, maybe this is Miles in his 20s? We already explored what it was like in the cartoons, in the animated series of him as a teenager. Now we want to see what a young 20s, a young college Miles is going through.
So
is that a possibility?
Yeah, for me, I feel like the Spider-Verse movies, they're Marvel, but Marvel adjacent. And so, like, for me, technically, we haven't gotten the Miles introduction. Like, you know how, like, we could have easily gotten an older Spider-Man, but they went the route of Tom Holland in high school, which is great. So I feel like we should do the same to Miles.
Yeah.
Because for me, I associate that as Sony, even though it's a Marvel entity and stuff.
Marvel Studios, I think you mean. So I agree with you. I want to see the development of a young Miles. I do not want to come in on Miles cashing in on his AARP, wondering whether or not he should register for Medicare Part B. I don't want Miles sitting in front of MSNBC all day, sitting there determining whether or not. I want Miles like going through puberty, not knowing whether or not this is his hormones or this is his spider bite. You know, like I don't I don't want mid-age. I've been heartbroken, divorced. I got to pay child support. Miles.
Look, they about to have Miles in his 3rd year at John Jay Criminal Justice, getting his degree.
Miles doing a PowerPoint presentation, and as you can see here in our graph,
I don't want Miles telling me to go to the store to get scratch-offs. Like I don't need that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, calm the fuck down. But I do wonder what happened to did you speak of the good? What happened to the days of old where people could play the same role forever? What happened to the days of Emmanuel Lewis and Gary Coleman, where somebody was hired as a 30-year-old,
little.
8-year-old?
They had a
Little people.
Yeah, come on. That named the 2 anomalies in Hollywood.
That used to be the shit. Like you turn on every station, and there was a 40-year-old dude playing an 8-year-old. You know what I'm saying? And there was and you didn't say nothing about it. You just accepted it. You're like,
we didn't know no better back then. We didn't talk about it.
Isn't that your suspension of disbelief as a child too? Like, oh, you're of a certain age watching that, and then you're older, and you're like, we're gonna do better stories now as well. So if we're aiming for kids, then like, okay, these motherfuckers will believe anything. Or maybe not even more. Even kids are kind of wiser too. Like, okay, why is Spider-Man holding his back and rubbing icy hot on himself? What the fuck's going on? But now that stories have progressed, and you know what I mean, and shit like that, where it's like, oh, we don't need like John Travolta's big now. Let's get him play high school or whatever. We can get unknowns shit. So we have, as we said earlier, we have a lot more options now. And like,
they should get the kid from Blackish to play him.
Yo, he's giving me. I couldn't manage to see it like Miles. You know how they do all the like Spider-Man had the TGI Spideys and all of that. Like, like the new Miles is like, hi, I love icy hot. You know, I use my arthritis. Like, come on, Ty, you was gonna say something?
I was gonna say, like, it based on what I'm seeing through the Spider-Verse, it almost seems as though it's leading up to some point where Miles jumps out of the Spider-Verse into reality, and because the fact that you were able to see Prowler in the movie as a real person in the movie as in the animated world leads you to believe that there is a way to traverse from the Spider-Verse into another realm or another multiversal of things. So if that's the case, and they are leading up to that, and Tom Holland wants to get out, it almost makes sense that when they do the pass the torch, they put Miles in a movie with Tom at some point. But when they do that, I don't necessarily think you're gonna get a start over, like a reboot, like from where they're ending with the Spider-Verse. So if we think about it from that perspective, he's right now a year about to go to college. So he's about 17, 18 years old right now in the Spider-Verse, correct?
Right.
I thought he was 15.
About 18-ish. Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's about to go to college.
Talking about Spider-Man, not Miles.
No, I'm talking about Miles. I'm talking about Miles. I'm talking about Miles. Miles in there was talking to a counselor about going to college the next year.
But they said that he was only a sophomore. That he was planning a little bit early. I think they explained he was 15 in the movie.
Okay, so if he's 15, we got another movie in the Spider-Verse. That's obviously coming out. So you're talking about him probably at that point being in college. So you're talking about maybe 18 at that point, 17, 18 years old at that point. So if we get that movie, then you could wait another 2, maybe 3 years before we maybe and that's just me speculating. As far as before we get him into a live, you're talking about him being around 20, 21, 20, 22 at that point, or 20 or whatever the case may be. You're talking about Tom being about 28 around that time, 28, 29, because he's 24 now.
I think he's getting closer to 30 actually, but
closer to 30. So yeah, you're talking about, you're probably going to have at that point a grown up Miles.
No. Okay. First of all, the movies and the way that this is why actors are actors and why everybody can't always be the person that they're acting as, because age happens, and you can't just say, all right, well, Tom Holland, he was 18 when Spider-Man was 18. Now Spider-Man's 19, Tom Holland's 23. We can't have him on the set anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you start doing it like that, that's pretty extreme. However, I will say, I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying in general. Now, I will say, for those who were inclined, if you go back and look at the No Way Home ending, you notice that Spider-Man, Tom Holland, has moved into his apartment finally, because obviously there have been some tragedies. Now, I don't know how much of this is real, because I actually went back and looked at it online to see if I could find it, but I saw it on TikTok. But evidently, if you listen really close, in the last scene of Tom Holland's Spider-Man No Way Home, you'll hear somebody say Miles in his apartment. And then you'll hear somebody say,
to turn on Disney Plus.
Mom, right? And then if you look at the closed caption, it says Rio is saying Miles. And it says Jeff says something else. Now, you only hear it. You don't see it. You just hear the clat in the background. And what I believe the implication is that Miles and Tom Holland are neighbors in his new domicile, which is how we can start to bridge that gap of Spider-Man from Tom Holland to unknown actor for the upcoming Miles Morales. I love to see it, but I do believe that we have to pick somebody who has 11 from Stranger Things appeal and can look the same age for decades. You know what I'm saying? So it's a very, and not to mention, like, let's keep it real, guys. Miles Morales is probably one of the most popular characters since Peter Parker came onto the scene. And the Latin community, the Black community, they all want a piece of him. So they got to get this shit right.
Right.
And if they don't, there will be riots, there will be hacking, there will be looting. And
I think they should get Scarlett Johansson to play Miles Morales. I would really like to see Scarlett's take on what it could be to be Miles Morales.
I mean, she killed it in Ghost in the Shell, right?
Hey, man, hey.
Use a wild boar. Well, he was talking about. All right, a couple things real quick. These are a couple mentions, but I think that was a great convo. I just want to mention that speaking of Marvel, I want to throw in how dare you at one Ryan Reynolds. Now, I know you don't own Marvel Studios, but you have a lot of creative control as it pertains to your movies. And for you to not have Domino in Deadpool 3, I don't give a fuck if she's coming back for Deadpool 4. God damn it. She should have been in the movie. She was the best part of goddamn the movie. And I cannot believe that she has not been slighted to even at least make a cameo, a mention, something. God damn it. There is no way in the world they did not sit and talk about whether or not this character was going to be used. What the fuck is going on? Somebody please talk me down, because right now I'm thinking about boycotting Deadpool 3.
I don't think she was an integral part of Deadpool 2, like that she needs to be in it, but I think we need to petition to get her, because she's the finest person I've ever seen in my entire life. If Zazie Beetz, that's the actress who plays her. Yes. I love her in Atlanta. I loved her in Deadpool. Yes. I would watch her collect water from a sewer drain for 2 hours, for 2.5 hours at a time, because I just think that she's gorgeous. But I like Domino. I don't think she's like a main part of like Deadpool's storyline or anything like that to have her.
Well, maybe not, but I think she was in one of the original X-Forces. I know when she started first making her appeals, she's in there. She was a white girl, but she's been flipped. And Zazie Beetz, let's also give her her background. She's a German American. I think she speaks full on German. If you watch Atlanta, you'll notice that she goes in and out of accents sometimes. That's not fake. Like, she actually has some European background. But however, like, I mean, maybe she didn't have an integral role, but let's remember Deadpool 2, she was the sole survivor of many that jumped out of a plane.
Lady Luck.
That was great. That was so great. That was so funny.
So I mean, she had, look, I just think that her character, especially Omar, with there not being that many black women
Yeah.
in the MCU. Let's just keep it real. There's not a whole bunch of black women in the MCU. We got Misty Knight in the television series. All right, we've got Storm isn't even necessarily in the MCU yet, from what I understand. Storm is still kind of X-Men centric, so we don't even have that. If you take Wakanda out, who do we have?
Did you mention Monica Rambeau? Is that who Misty Knight is?
I didn't mention Monica Rambeau. She's coming up, and I know she's in the series as well. My bad. I didn't mean to.
Like Misty's gone now too.
But Misty, yes. So with
gone.
that whole thing. So I mean, what do we have, Omar? I mean, what do we have to look forward to? Did they make a mistake by not including Domino in this series?
I do like their relation because if I can do a real quick reference, because like she was in X-Force. They do have a relation. There was a situation where someone needed to be set against Deadpool, and Cyclops was like, "I have to send you." She's like, "Why?" He's like, "It makes sense." And then Deadpool saw her. He's like, "Yeah, it makes sense." Like they do have a shared history, so it would have been nice to have her, even if it's a cameo or something, like have her in it. I know Blind Al was a Deadpool character. They had her being black in this, but I'm not sure if she was in. I think she was in the second one as well. It just would be nice, but also like I guess I get it also because everyone's been petitioning so hard for I don't know why to have Wolverine in this one as well.
Yeah.
So like that seems like the big focus. But then also Wolverine has a relation with Domino as well, and since he has amnesia and all that shit, it's an easy correlation to have between them. But also like I guess. Unless there's she's doing something different with Cable, because that was the whole thing. Cable's supposed to have his own spinoff, and Cable and Domino are very close. So if that was, if we had to wait down the line for that, no, that's perfectly fine. But Deadpool 3, I'm like, all right, it's gonna be a center of Wolverine. I'm only happy, so like let this be the fucking last of it. I'm tired. I am tired as fuck about what, because I mean, because of Wolverine, a lot of X-Men shit got ruined. I'm just gonna say that because like let's be fucking real. It became the Logan show, and like, all right, and now we're doing this. All right, finally these two are together in this movie. Okay, well let's be the fucking last. Oh, we're gonna get the original X-Men back for X-Men back for Wolverine. I hope the fuck not. Can
we recast already? I'm so sick of the original X-Men, dog.
They got their send-off already. Let it fucking go.
Can we get the MCU version of the X-Men? And can we get them in costumes? Can we get them doing?
I'm saying,
like,
can we give Jubilee her flowers?
Yeah.
She was in every deleted scene in every movie,
and it banged. I'm like, why?
Yeah, I like Jubilee's depiction in the newest X-Men, but yeah, they are bringing back OG Jean Grey as well, evidently, and
OG Jean Grey.
and getting old to play the same role.
They gotta have Jean Grey. I mean, if they don't have Jean Grey, they can't really go into the Phoenix the Phoenix.
But this Deadpool don't got shit to do with that.
Yeah, haven't we seen the Phoenix enough?
I was just talking about just having her back in the MCU.
If I never go to Arizona, I don't want to see the Phoenix.
Or have her in the
I'm so sick. Sick of the Phoenix.
But Omar,
there's a lot of stuff that comes from that though.
Yeah.
Let me talk to Omar about this. Omar, if I'm not mistaken, like they almost have no choice. Hold on, hear me out. They have a choice. They could hold it back. But if I'm not mistaken, doesn't Wolverine join the X-Force for a short period of time? Isn't Wolverine in the X-Force for like a little bit? And I mean, don't they have some like actual comic book history there? Is there none of that?
They've been mercenaries together. When Wolverine was running X-Force, the original X-Force was ran by Cable. That was his thing. So Wolverine wasn't a part of that. When it was Cyclops, I was like, I want you to put X-Force together. And like it was when it was under the X-Men. So if anything, Deadpool came into that when Wolverine was running it. But the version we know of, no, that's Cable's and shit that we saw. That's Cable's version that we saw. So there's no correlation there. So it's really just their shared back history of running back doing fucking mercenary hood rat shit. That's the only relation they have. They was out there getting wet work. They were dropping bodies. We were like, we were shooting up Bolivia, shooting cocaine and shit like that. They were doing wild shit back in their fucking mercenary days. So it's like, okay, give us that, and then let us be fucking done with it. Let us be done with it.
Yeah. We're all waiting to see when the new Wolverine, when the new Logan will be unveiled. I actually am on record as saying I think that they may have already given us the new Wolverine. X2 in Logan.
I don't see that either.
They may. There's the possibility. There are. Look, we've got Mighty Thor. You know what I'm saying? Why isn't
X2? Isn't that a cop out? We got Mighty Thor for 30 minutes. Is that not? You know what I mean? Like, wait, she dies. Okay, so like, there's your. Boom, there's your fan service right there. Like, she's not going to continue. Okay, cool.
Well, I mean, I don't know. They
I mean, nobody dies in the MCU anymore.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
in the MCU, all they'll do is go pick one from another Earth. Or
No.
another, you know.
No one dies in the Fast and Furious.
That too.
Absolutely no
Well,
one.
actually, I don't know if y'all saw the article. It just came out last week. They're combining Fast and the Furious to verse the Avengers in an up and coming movie. So Vin Diesel is single handedly taking out all of the Avengers by himself. So
come
and
on,
he's
I
doing
will
it
be
for
front
family.
row when that movie is released in my white tee and silver chain.
Silver chain cross? Silver chain cross?
I don't have a cross. I have a Hello Kitty, but it's really big. And I feel like it brings the same energy while being true to me. Yep.
I just have one question, man. Like, how does Vin Diesel always keep that t-shirt clean? Like, it never gets dirty.
It never goes.
Like, it never gets shot. It's almost a bulletproof vest, a tank. I don't know what the hell that t-shirt has. This motherfucker can jump out of cars and land and not be hurt. Yep. And I'm just like, your shirt's never dirty. He has the cleanest white tees I've ever seen. I want to know where he gets them from.
I went to Universal Studios last week and I rode the Fast and the Furious ride for the first time. They dead ass had Vin Diesel, Dominic Toretto pull down a helicopter out of the sky. He pulled the helicopter down and threw it down. I was like, when did he get hit with the super soldier serum?
I love the Fast and Furious ride at Universal. It's amazing. You feel like you're in the movie. Oh my God. I think this is my friends see a different side of me when Fast and Furious at Universal.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Universal definitely has a lot of rides. Transformers being one of my favorites. Spiderman, which is still weird that it's at Universal when it's owned by Disney.
I was so confused. I was angry when I was there. I saw all the Marvel stuff. I was like, yo, y'all an ex-boyfriend that just won't give my stuff back. just give it to Magic Kingdom. Just give me my stuff back, man. We're not together no more. Let it go. It's over between us, please.
It's all right. Yo, Tiffy, that is a weird thing though, right? Tiffy, like, you're a Disney person. Disney has officially colonized Marvel, and we're now like, it's still a prominent member of the Universal Studios attractions. How does this coexist like this? Like, somebody got to. Where the divorce papers at? What's going on, Tiffany?
Yes, it is something to do with the contracts and just the length of time that they're allowed to keep those properties. So, and I used to know the details of it. I don't anymore. It like when things like that, I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. So. And I do think that it's different in Florida than it is in California. So like it really is just the most randomest of things. So we don't have that out here in California.
Oh, it's prominent. It's prominent as fuck. There's a huge
they got a
Spider-Man.
Yeah, they have a whole land. It's like
there's like a Marvel
Island land.
Dr. Doom.
The Hulk, Spider-Man, and it's weird because nobody really talks about it. Everybody's like, "Oh, we don't know nothing." But if you go in the gift shops, they got MCU stuff. They got like Tom Holland's signature Spider-Man mask and shit. I'm like, how are y'all selling Disney merchandise? Ain't that the Ops? Ain't that the Crips? I thought the Ops.
I feel like at the end of the day, they meet in a back alley, and it's like, okay, but if we put our stuff on your parks, like we all can benefit from that. You have people spending money, we have people spending money, like, and that's how they meet and do business, and they just agree because at the end of the day, capitalism wins.
Yeah, that's probably what it is too. Because on the West Coast, y'all have Avengers Campus, right?
Right.
We have Avengers
we don't
Campus.
have that at our Disney.
Nah,
but let me tell you, Incredible Hulk is like one of my favorite coasters.
Yeah. I have a joke. I have a joke where I say, like, Incredible Hulk, for those who haven't ridden it, it's a ride. You get on it and it slowly ticks you up. Slowly, and then it shoots you out of this hole into the universe. It's like the perfect ride to ride if you want to know how it feels to be ejaculated. I
was wondering about the voice.
I'm like, the way she slowly and then shot out like.
You right into Betty's face when you go out to the. I'll just start. All right, my bad. We're gonna edit that out.
But that's very similar to a ride that we have at Six Flags in here in California. It's the Superman ride where they shoot you up and you go straight up. and they have a big Superman statue that sits sideways. Like, so he just sits up there at the top of the thing. But when you're on the roller coaster, you're meeting him face to face, and then you just drop away from him. It is, yeah, that's what we have out here. But Six Flags doesn't always check their roller coasters, so it's a gamble.
Ooh.
Does your Superman lay you guys down?
Hmm?
Does your Superman ride like go from seated to laying down?
You're laying on your back essentially.
Okay, because so Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey has a Superman ride, and you sit down on it, but then it lays you. And I swear, I was like, "This is where I die. This is where I'm a girl. Okay, I'm gonna fall hard as fuck. Is this shit on? Are you sure it's on?"
And after doing this play, I don't know if I can look at roller coasters the same that don't do say like I can't.
Can I just say, I know this isn't on the topic, so I'm sure we're ready to move on, but I rode all the rides at Universal last week. They are so much softer than Six Flags. I went to Six Flags in Atlanta. They don't regulate shit at Six Flags.
That's
like,
what I'm trying to tell you.
These rides are like, oh, they could be rickety. They're going faster than the speed of light. At Universal, I felt safe, secure. I felt like I was going to make it home. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
It's Six Flags, baby.
I ain't rode a roller coaster since Final Destination 6. So I salute each and every last one of y'all. I ain't even rid behind a truck with logs wood on it. So I'm like, nope, this is where we pull over. But kudos to y'all. But yeah, we definitely need to have a talk, and hopefully, who knows, at some point maybe we'll all meet up at Universal Studios, because they do have that Marvel stuff still, and Marvel is still coming out with cool stuff, as you all heard. They're even still dropping some comic book stuff. Our own boy Omar has even given us a reason to start to reinvest in some comic books. For those of y'all who don't, here's what he said on his socials about this most recent drop of Black Panther.
We can't be stationary for this one because T'Challa's back. Eve L. Ewing and Chris Allen dropped their Black Panther #1 series this week, and fam, no spoilers, but it bangs. My favorite heroes are street-level heroes, and Eve L. Ewing and Chris Allen put T'Challa in that position. He's in Burney T'Chaka, the city of his father in Wakanda, and he's prowling around like a panther. Still, we ain't seen T'Challa get in the mud like this since Black Panther, the Man Without Fear, when he took over Hell's Kitchen for Daredevil for a time being. But I mean, looking at the city of Burney T'Chaka, Wakanda had their own Gotham, their own New York City this whole time. Look how beautiful it looks, man. Chris Allen does an incredible job of making Burney T'Chaka, the city, feel like a character, and it is a character, one we don't know that much about, and one T'Challa doesn't know that much about either. So we see him trying to learn about this city. No spoilers, but it's pretty cool seeing T'Challa come down from this position of power, now in a city of his father, and now we see that Wakanda maybe isn't everything we thought it was, where there was no crime whatsoever and everything was perfect. Now we're seeing like, oh, this place has flaws too. Usually world building ain't easy, but Eve Ewing didn't get the memo. This doesn't drag at all. You're in this new place. She describes it perfectly. She describes T'Challa's feelings being there perfectly, and it's a great start for a new direction for T'Challa, one which he desperately needed. It's still the first issue, but you can tell Eve Ewing and Chris Allen are headed somewhere really special with T'Challa for this run. I find myself saying, yes, chef, every so often because they were from cooking.
Love it.
Joe, so talk to us about this new Black Panther drop, my friend, and just let the folks know why they should cop it.
Oh, sure, no problem. Let me actually make a correction. I read that. I didn't. It's burn in. Burn in is the word, and I was like, I had to look it up too, and I was like, why did I think I missed the end? So it's burn in T'Chaka, and T'Challa is now exiled. He can't. I mean, this isn't really spoiler. You'll know this from the last run, which was. It was horrendous, but T'Challa's exiled. So it's like, okay, what am I to do now? And basically it's almost like a rediscovery. It's like, well, who am I without being king and shit? I've gone everywhere in the world. Okay, I'm back in Wakanda. Now he's in the city of his father, which he's never really been to before. So he's a foreigner in a city named after his own father. And now he's like, okay, well, I have to let me learn of the people here and shit like that. Let me see like the city and things and the way it's drawn is like really incredible. And he's just like of the night. He's like, I don't want to say like, it's not like a Batman type thing. I mean, in a sense, he's like hiding in the night and shit like that. But like, all right, like I'm back on the fucking streets now. And now you're seeing like, okay, there are people like being fucking hounded for money as well. Like storefronts, like, oh, they're like in a racketeering type shit where it's like, oh yeah, you got to pay us for protection, man. Like, oh, we're seeing this happen in Wakanda. Is this because of like, we don't know why? I assume it's because of like the whole like government being destabilized and going for democracy and whatnot and shit like that. But now you're seeing like, yo, like Wakanda has issues now as well, like, and everything's not all perfect here. And T'Challa's like, all right, well, now T'Challa is here at the root of the problem, like at the root of the issue, and also hearing like what the people think, like, okay, we're going from a kingship to a democracy. Did that motherfucker suck his king or what? There's a whole public court about that shit, like it's fucking Athens, like we're at the Parthenon, talk about that. T'Challa's he just like crouched in the shadows, like they talking shit about me, man. All right, fine, but it's a really good book, and also you got a new woman antagonist too that you get for like as a thief, and it's really good world building for T'Challa as opposed to what we saw him done before, where he was like just torn down for like a year maybe in this old book. Now it's like, okay, he's in the streets, got a whole new fit, my man. A man's looking dope. The shit looks dope. It's a new direction for him, and he's back. I love it when you put a motherfucker back on the goddamn streets. Ain't no cosmic shit. This is all this shit. Ain't no high tech shit. This is fucking hands and street shit, guns, hands, and fisticuffs. That's all this shit is right now. And so now we're seeing like, all right, well, what's going? Because there might be crime families here too. So like now we're seeing like the Gotham of Wakanda now, like, right. and it's happening in the city of his fucking father. So now he has to learn the city. He's got to learn the people, and also now who he is now that he's no longer a king and has that like power behind him. It's only one issue so far, but I'm like, yo, this direction, it's a great direction for him.
So let me ask you this, Omar. Yeah. You said in your post that this is kind of likened to The Man Without Fear.
Yeah.
And in The Man Without Fear, there's no powers. I mean, he like there's no, purple, there's no, he's not a king, obviously all these things, and he's kind of trying to find himself. Even he has an interaction with Luke Cage as well. They're on the streets in Hell's Kitchen. So are we seeing that same type of energy with T'Challa in this one? There's no super, it's just all straight grit. He don't even have no backup team. It's just straight T'Challa, man on man, just like that.
He's got his powers. He's got his powers still. Because in Man Without Fear, that's when he's like, I have to rediscover myself. Like without my powers, I gotta get the shit from the fucking mud. Let me call up Daredevil. Like, yeah, watch my city. We'll go like a training ground. Now it's like, okay, I got kicked out my fucking house, y'all. Motherfuckers throwing shit on my name. None of motherfuckers like me. I got my ass beat by Captain America. Shit is crazy right now. Let me just collect myself. Let me collect myself in the city of my dad. Like, I ain't been here in a fucking minute. And like, oh, okay. And like, but like, oh, he's seeing like there's shit going around. Like, and he's doing things like he fixed a bunch of like these street lights for like, he's like, the people here, some notice me, some don't. I'm doing tiny little things, but like he fixed a whole row of street lights and shit. And like, and then like, but some do notice that they're here, like, okay, like, oh shit, like, if there's a Black Panther here, and I won't spoil it, but like people saying like, oh, they thought maybe I won't spoil it, but it's like, oh, nigga, it's you. You're down here with us. What the fuck? So it's that like, oh shit, like you're with the brokies. What the fuck's happening, man? So it's I mean, the city don't look broke, but it's like it's that like, okay, like I got to see what I am now to this nation now that I am no longer its king.
Without revealing too much, explain this to me, because I didn't really get this clear. I mean, I got some of the Man Without Fears here at the house, but I never really understood, like, if he's kicked out and he's not a king, where is he getting his money from? Like, does he still like how does he fund like the fixing of lights and stuff like that? Like, what like, is he just that good? Like, what the fuck did he like? Is he hoarding? Is he slanging dope? Is he got spice? Like, what's popping? Like, how's he doing this shit?
I think he's still getting dividends from the import export. Like, you keep your funds, but like you don't have a seat on the throne. You have no fuck your opinion. You know what I mean? You don't. These doors are closed for you, bucko. This is democracy, bitch. Get out there. You know what I'm saying? You can't come through these halls no more. Your UN summit is revoked, nigga. Nah, you gone. And so we fixed, but we see him like in a warehouse. Like, all right, I'm gonna build this shit for myself. And the lights were like the fucking from the She's All That, where it's like those string of bulbs, those kinds. And so he fixed that. It wasn't like he was like at a street light, like, let me just fucking.
That's what I pictured. That's exactly what I pictured.
There's a string of lights, but so he fixed that in like this alleyway. There's a woman walking, like, oh, and then like sees him leaping away, like, oh shit, okay. So the bank account. I don't know how much is in the bank account, but I assume like, a boy broke, but he ain't broke, So but he's just moving differently, and no one knows where he is, but he's here now, and so like he's still enemy of the state as well. So like, okay, I'm here, but don't tell nobody I'm here. You didn't see me, all right? You didn't, mask off. You didn't see me. So it's like that.
To quote Big Pun, ain't nobody see shit.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody see shit, right? Ain't nobody see shit.
Exact. Very much.
Last question: who's running Wakanda in this one? Who's at the head?
So they have a board. We haven't seen them yet. We've seen them from the old run, and it's a woman. I've forgotten her name.
By the way, I didn't mean to quiz you. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's a new woman that was elected by the people. It got me out here erasing women in comics, man.
All right. Look, we'll come back to that.
It's a new woman. There's a leadership. I think Shuri's there, but like it's now okay. We've gone from democracy now. However, we have to build this up now. It's not like democracy. Like, okay, these are the people. She's a prime minister now of Wakanda, and she's also the one that revoked all the Americans becoming Wakandan, all the American visas. She's the one that took that shit away. T'Challa's like, I wouldn't have done that shit, but I ain't got the power.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, man. I'm definitely gonna look forward. Me and the kid might hop over to the comic book store. I know Minnie. What's up? And Minnie in the comments is another avid collector. We should definitely arrange for meetups, Minnie, because we go to the same comic shop, Acme over in Longwood. But yeah, man, definitely looking forward to checking that one out, man. As I always listen to whatever Omar says. Before we start to wrap, there was one other thing on our docket that we could discuss, but we might do a little bit of afterwards. So if y'all want to hang out a little bit, we might be in the group. So stay tuned. But there was one more movie that dropped, and it was with all black people in a scary movie, which doesn't normally happen. And I think only one of us got a chance to see it, and that would be Mr. Kev. Kev, you give a thumbs up or thumbs down to this movie?
I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up, bro. I think it was one of the funniest movies that I've seen in theaters in a really long time.
100%.
Yeah, I love the cast. I love the blackness of the movie. No spoilers here, but it was a fun film. It had moments of fright, but it wasn't an overly scary film. It was comedic, but it wasn't like saturated with like in your face slapstick humor. Which it was nice. It was just like a good story to watch, and it was a funny story. I don't think it was the best storytelling of all time. Like, it wasn't like, oh man, this is such a like a go-to movie. It's not up there with Malcolm X or Remember the Titans in black films for me. But I think. Yeah, no, I just think those are 2 important black movies. New Jack City, Juice, Remember the Titans, Malcolm X.
Looks like you got the juice now, Grandma.
Yeah. But ultimately, without saying too much, I really enjoyed it. I think it was a fun movie. It was lighthearted, and I just haven't laughed in a movie theater in a really, really long time. It was reminiscent of like a Super Bad 40-Year-Old Virgin, that type of comical humor for me personally.
Does it have like Wayans Brothers vibes?
No
movies.
No. So I feel like those like, whether you like it or not, it's like very like silly humor.
Yeah,
like they're I think that they're pandering to like the lowest common denominator, and I like that. I have no problem with lowbrow humor, but this stuff, I think it just really hit on like some black stereotypes, what it's like to be black, what is black. Without spoiling the movie, there's one joke in there where they're playing a game, they're playing a board game, and it's black questions, and if you don't answer the black questions correctly, you could die. And they ask a question about Friends. They were like, name 6 black actors that have appeared in the show Friends, and they're all trying to figure it out. They're like, I think Aisha Taylor was in, I think Gabrielle Union, and then the correct answer, he's like, all right, sorry, you're all wrong. The correct answer is, nigga, we ain't seen Friends. And I'm in the theater like, damn, like I don't know the answer to this. I never watched Friends. I grew up on Living Single, so it's just funny. I felt bad for white people watching the movie because I felt like there was a lot of things they wouldn't get, which made me feel good.
Yeah, I was about to say,
exactly.
what? So,
I know there was a white dude sitting next to me, and I felt bad. I was like, he ain't getting none of these jokes. Ain't that awesome? This is fantastic.
Well, I don't feel bad for black people when I watch Downton Abbey. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
exactly.
Like, look,
Exactly. And they don't be thinking about us. I felt bad I felt bad, and it felt good. It was.
All right. Well, let me do this on the way out. All right. I don't think we have enough time. We spent a lot of time. Maybe we'll do this on the B side if y'all are down. But I wanted to play a little game in honor of our movie, The Blackening, that just came out. And I don't think we have enough time. But first and foremost, I was going to say, guys, get some paper. We've done this before. Those of us, the OGs in here, we've done this before. Grab a slice of paper if you got it, a pen, piece of paper if you got it. I don't think we got time for it, but we'll see. Thank you, baby. My daughter just handed me a pen. And I just wanted to know, one of the things that happened in this movie, from what I understand, based off one of the previews, is that they there's some murder going on and run amok. And the premise of it is, okay, now this is based on our blackness, right? I think some of the characters may not have necessarily made it all the way through. And then one of them, in pure Saw fashion, is now one of the dilemmas they run into is like, now the next person, if y'all want to all stay alive, then the only way is by sacrificing one person. Mm-hmm. And if we sacrifice somebody, the person we sacrifice will be elected by you. Now, we will elect to kill only one person, but you have to tell us which one of you in this group is the blackest. Now, before we even answer that, because I don't think we can, because frankly, let's just at the outset speak of the absurdity of the fact that blackness can be defined. All right. There's so many different definitions. There's racial. There's just skin tone. Let's just admit that it's absurd. This is just satirical. So please don't at me. These is just jokes. We're playing around. We just want to play around. We just want to play. It ain't that serious. But since we already here, I wonder if we were in a room, just the six of us, and Jigsaw came in and was like, I have a game I want to play. And Omar, Tasha won't make it. Tiffy, we're killing all Disney productions. Kev, there will be no Jamaican girlfriends for you. No mountain, no kids, Ty, and no fire sticks. And Vince, we're gonna wipe away the Spiderman franchise. Oh, and your family too. Unless you can tell us which of the six of y'all are the blackest. Now, I'm gonna keep it 100% with y'all. I had this whole reveal thing set for us to do, but we out of time. So tune in next time where we'll discuss which of the panel is the blackest. And how do you come to those conclusions? Is it based on your mom and your daddy? Is it based on how dark? Is it your complexion? Is it your education or a lack thereof? Is it what you listen to, what you like, what you don't like? Is it how you talk, your vernacular? I mean, do you sound like Kevin? You know what I'm saying? It was red with the white. And so that's something I think we'll talk about next time. But as of right now, man, I'm just going to go ahead and start wrapping up. Even though we didn't get a chance to talk about Transformers, I will ask you this real quick, Ty. Did you like Transformers or not?
You mean Transformers: Rise of the Silver Surfer? I loved it. I thought it was. Yeah. This is how I remembered it.
It does jive like that a little bit. There are way too many similarities to this and a Fantastic Four movie. I personally thought that it was okay. But then again, I'm on record as speaking about how the Transformers franchise may be a little watered down now since Optimus Prime is the center of everything. It's like if you had a Marvel movie, if you have a bunch of Marvel movies and Spider-Man's the center of every single one, then yeah, you're going to get tired of it. So that's just my opinion.
You may be surprised.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But I do like the Latin representation, so I'll give them that much. And excuse me,
the Latins will get a movie, won't they?
People of color representation in this movie. But having said that, guys,
specifically New York, man.
Shout out
to New York. Everybody, big deal in New York, man.
They did rep for New York maybe a little too hard. It was the 90s. There was a lot of Wu-Tang posters. They had knives.
That's what gave it to me. That's why I was like, oh, as soon as they came in, cash rules everything around. I was like, go, let's go.
In the Flash movie?
Let's go. Nah, this is
Transformers.
Oh, Transformers. Okay.
Yeah, Transformers.
He's like in the Flash movie? Nah.
Yeah. Flash rules everything around me. On that note, from the whole gang, Nolly, Ty, Tiffy, Omar, Kev, we are going to say this is the end of the B side. The A side. We're gonna flip this tape over and talk a little bit more on the other side if you're willing. But in terms of the plotted personal stuff that we talk about in the first portion, we done with that. So as we always say, be yourself, your authentic self, because if you ain't being that, you being fake, homeboy, and it ain't nothing honorable about being fake. All right, I don't care if you're the Flash or not. And always, if you keep giving out in public, whether it's at Universal in Cali or in Orlando, go ahead and let that geek flag fly. Yeah.
Fighter 2, I just really hate